Okay, now what is scatter plots? Why do we need to use a scatter plot? We use scatter plot to identify the correlation, find out the correlation between the numerical variable. So in this case, profit and sales. So here I have plotted the sales column here in the x-axis, but in the y-axis, I have plotted the profit here. So we want to find out the relationship between these two variables. The relationship between these variables are supposed to be linear. Yes, Nitesh. Okay. No, to compare two numerical values. It's not, comparing two numerical values. Okay. So you need to say to find out the correlation between the two variables. Okay. Not comparing the values. We want to compare the correlation between the two variables. How, right? So basically you want to understand, right? It wants us to understand. Okay. You sent some, okay, good. What is that? Okay, good. Okay, so here, we wanted to understand when the sales increases, does this profit also increases? Obviously, it should increase. Okay, so here I just select the visual. See, today I'm going to share this data visualization report file, this file. Okay, because today we'll be creating some more visuals. So if you wanted to check what columns that I used it, you need to select this visual first, and then on the right side you will find all the things. One second, let me just take that Epic pen. So do a lot of groundwork. See, 1 second, let me pass this one. This resume. So here, to identify the correlation between the two numerical variable, right? So we wanted to, we will be using this scatter plot chart. Okay, so here in this case, in this chart, right, first you need to drag a value into the values column. Okay, for example, I just remove everything here. The reason why it was, we were getting the error in the other day, right? So I was not putting the value directly, I was putting it here. For example, here, I need to put the value first here. Here I just drop the category, and then the x-axis, I will just put the sales, and then in the y-axis, you put the profit, because you want to compare these two numerical variables correlation. Okay, we can see an increase at trend, right? This is called positive relationship, positive correlation. As the value of X increases, the profit also goes high, right? So here we can, with this plotted values, we can see that if you draw a line here in between, right? You draw a line in the middle. So it will be like a straight line. So we can see that there is an upward trend. That means as the sales increases, the profit also increases. Supposing here, if I plot price, okay, so or if I plot sales here and if I plot the price here, as the price increases, do you think the sales will also increase? No, right? You will find downward trend. That is called inverse correlation. So in that case, there exists a relationship between price, sales, and price, or the price and sales. In that case, okay, price and sales, there exists a correlation. Now also there exists a correlation between these two numerical variables. There is a correlation between these two variables, but in this case, it's a positive correlation. As the value of sales increases, the profit also going up. So other thing here, you can, from the size, I just put the sales column, and the bigger the size, it tells us higher the value. Okay, bigger the value. And in the play axis, we have some of the play axis. What I do is I just drag and drop the year column here. So for example, in this case, play axis, I just put the year in this column here. And you can see that here. So now the moment when I dropped the play axis, sorry, the year in the play axis field, the button, you can see the video button. When you click on this, it will play. Look here, when you pause it, each year, you can 2011 and 2012, also the same, the pattern you can find out. As the sales increase, the profit is also going up. When you hover the cursor here, the technology category, the sales is more and the profitability is more. And when you see hover the cursor here, the sales is not much and profit also obviously not much. Okay. You can, pause and play these videos. This kind of animated effect. You can make an animated effect that is available as part of scatter plot. This scatter plot is also called as a bubble shot, and you can change the bubble size. You can go to the properties. This is where format icon. Okay, here a lot of options are available here. So, for example, if you want to change the markers all shape instead of bubble, you can, if you want to use, you can use the square or something like that. Okay, so bubble is the one, the circle is the one widely used, and you can change the size of this one also. You can change the colors and everything, and you can go and specify the size of this one also. If you don't want to make it a big one, right, you can reduce it. Okay, you can keep it like this. This is your scatter plot. I just rename it as scatter plot this page so that you can easily find out before interview. It will be very much helpful. So hope you remember okay, what is the idea of using the scatter plot? Okay, so using scatter plot, we can identify the correlation between the, is there anything else we can interpret with the help of scatter plot? We can find out the outliers. Okay, what do you mean by outlier? What do you mean by outlier? How many of you are aware of outlier? I explained in the last session, unusually very large value, very high value, unusually very small value. Okay, that is also called as a this one. I miss my favorite tool. Okay, anyhow, it is not there. So unusually very high value. Look here, this is very high value. All these values are somewhat close by. For example, if you hover the cursor, furniture and the furniture Oceania region and furniture North region, values are somewhat close by, right? All these values are somewhat close by. Okay, hence the bubbles are clustered around each other. Okay, and but if you see these values, right, this one is too far from all the things, hence it is outlier. So very big value, unusually very big value, 3,27,000. But this one is called outlier. I call this an outlier. Sometimes what will happen, very small value will be there. If anything, below zero, if you find it in the sales value itself, below zero, if you see, then that is also an outlier. Negative value is very less value. There is a formula for computing the outlier, so that is not required at this moment. Okay, how do you compute out? They will not ask you. That is for data scientist. Okay, and the formula to compute the outlier. See, the point here is it is not, don't think the maximum value is outlier and minimum value is outlier. It is not like that. There is a formula for that. But the general idea is, intuitively how you can understand is anything which is too far from the other values. So the distance between all these values is somewhat, even this one is right, somewhat close by. So this one close to this one is close. But all these values are little far from this, right? This one is far from this one, hence it is outlier. With the help of the scatter plot, not only you can find out the correlation between the two numerical variable, and also you can find out the outliers. Okay. So by finding out the outlier, what am I going to do? So once you find out the outlier, see, the outlier can help you in this case, which category, in which region are we really performing? What is the outstanding, right? This region performance is outstanding in this category. Okay. That is what we can understand it. And apart from this, the outliers are, if you see the outlier, then you can, find out, are there any problem with the data? Sometimes if you see here, right, so negative 23,000 or something. So then that could be a clear indication that, there is a typo, data entry error. The outlier could be, there are two reasons for outlier. One is, yes, in this region, the technology category, the sales performance literally outperformed. Okay. And whereas, if you find any negative value here or something like that, sometimes, right, the positive outlier, right, even in this case also, due to some data entry or data related issue, it can show very high, and sometimes it will show very less value. Okay, anything which is unusual, we call that as an outlier. So with the help of scatter plot, we can find it. So in case of any data entry related, data related issues, go and fix it. So sales value cannot be negative. Profit can be negative, but sales cannot be negative, isn't it? So in that case, go and check why that specific record has a negative value in it. So what you do is go and fix it. Okay. In case of any mistakenly they put minus. Okay. In that case, what you do is remove the minus. Then you are addressing that issue. Okay. The scatter plot is also called as a bubble chart. Okay, it is also called as a bubble chart. Okay, and that's all. That's pretty much about the scatter plot. Next one is next what we'll do is instead of going to the other